to the Loot Routes Survivor's Guide. So you join me here. I've just spawned in. This is my custom server, so I have some random bits and pieces that perhaps you wouldn't get on a regular server, and we are somewhere. But where are we, and how would we know where we are? I suppose is the first thing that everyone wants to know on a loot route. Well, there is the sea. The town is very, very close to us, which means that there is no train track between us and the road. The road is right there. We are probably on the east coast, and it looks like we are at this place. And this place is called Solnichny. So let's have a look around Solnichny. What is our first goal? Our first goal is more food. More food and water, obviously. We have a container, but the container is empty. We have a glow stick. I don't want it. I'm getting rid of it. Some people like it. I'm getting rid of it. We have a knife, which is fine. It is set there. That's okay. So let's have a look and see what we can find in and around Solnichny. Now, fortunately, in Solnichny, you have this this little cabin here, which sometimes has good military loot in it, which is very good. We've got a trenching shovel. Don't need that. We got rounds, but they're military grade rounds, and I'm not going to carry them around if we don't have a military grade weapon. Got what looks like an army pouch. We'll take that. There was nothing in it. We got some combat boots, but they're not in the greatest of condition, and we got a smoke grenade. I'm going to stick with the shoes that I've got rather than get the combat boots on, because they're kind of noisy and they're kind of heavy, and I don't really want to get into that right now. Here we are. This is where we are. Get your bearings. This is where we are. We're gonna head up the road to Dolina and carry on up to Polyana and then over to Gorka. There's a train here, or at least a bit of a train. A hatchet, that's a handy thing to have. Solnichny, quite a good spawn because you've got a medical right there. See what's going on in medical. We got some disinfectant. Got a pea coat with a can opener, which is pretty good. Pea coats are not bad. They're pretty good at keeping you warm, and they have a slightly better capacity. Hello. That one seems to be occupied, which is a bit of a nuisance. There seem to be quite a lot of Zeds in there. Gonna have to have a little think about that. Zeds can't see through polytunnels or glass houses for some reason. It sounds like they're in that house. Yeah, they're in that house, so that's fine. We've got a Z there. Z in the house. Got a Z over there. Got Zs everywhere. Ah, and they're all coming to see me. So if you get stuck in this situation, get on top of a car or something. Now just be aware that the animation tries to drag you off the object that you're standing on. So just be careful about that. We've obviously now attracted quite a lot of attention, which is not ideal, but these things happen. Zeds in there can see me or hear me, and that's also fine. She's stuck in there, so we're good. What have we got here? We've got chlorine. Well, that's a bit of a win. We've got some drinkable products. So I'm gonna carry on around here. Got this little store. I want to check this out. These stores are pretty good for gear. It's got what appears to be a sports shirt. Got a bolt, which would be fine if we had a crossbow. And nothing else. Not really anything super. Try and deal with these infected in here. Or not, which is pretty good because we don't. Oh, another one. Seem to be everywhere, these infected. Yeah, it's fine. We'll take that. Another bandage. Doesn't hurt. Right, essential supplies. Morphine. This is like a blood test kit. Don't really need that. It's not really essential. We've got a saline bag. It might come in handy if we find an IV start kit. Gas mask, paramedic's jacket, which is 42, which is better than the pea coat we have. It's damaged and it's low insulation, so I might just skip that for now. And we don't want epinephrine. Got another paramedic's jacket. Is that an IV start kit? It is indeed. It is damaged. That's okay. It's got grass inside it. Right, what did I tell you? You see? I told you. You find stuff in here. CR527. 7.62 bolt action rifle. So let's hang on to it. And we got some working boots. Again, I'm not bothered about the working boots so much, but there you go. So we got something that's not too bad. If we ever manage to get ourselves some mag to go with it, which, you know, it's not in the realms of impossibility. So we don't want to hang around on the coast too much. You're not going to find everything you want at the coast. The idea is you start off at the coast and you go inland. The better loot is inland, and the quicker you get inland, the better off you will be. So that is where we're heading, and we're going to head up this road here, and this is going to take us out of the sleepy little village of Solnichny, which seems to be an absolute hotbed of infected, and this is going to take us up the road. You can already see there's a couple of things up the road, so that's where we're going to head, and I might have to leave you because it looks like night is falling. So what we'll do is we'll head on up the road to this industrial, and we'll take a little pause there, and I'll bring you back in when it's daylight, and you can see what's going on. We'll see you soon. Okay, well we're about ready to move on, even though it's raining and thunder lightning. In case you didn't know, you can climb containers, infected cat. You can, provided your stamina obviously is good enough. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to have some drinks. We're still in the yellow. We haven't really had a need to do anything or eat anything, but as you may or may not know, the way that the food and drink indicators work isn't proportional, right? So when the apple is at 50% doesn't mean you got 50% food. That's not that's not how it works. It would be nice if it did work like that, but it doesn't work like that. And there's great content creators like Wobo go into extreme detail about exactly where the marks are and where the changes are and everything else. That said, hydration is pretty important. So I always crank up my hydration as much as I can and try and keep it as high as I can. Given that we have drank quite a lot, I'll stop. Actually, I'll have the rice. That's what you want. Drink a lot of juice and then eat a bag of dry rice. I mean, I guess if you're starving and it's the end of the world, why not, right? Right, as soon as the stomach icon comes up, we can't eat anymore. Otherwise, we will end up in a situation where vomiting stuff out of the way. All of our gear is in good nick. So, just something else while we were here. The IV bag. I made an IV bag, and then I left it on the ground. There it is. Hello, IV bag. So if you mix the IV saline bag with the IV start kit, you get a deliverable IV saline bag, which is great. It's not half as good. Well, it would be nice to have blood, but I don't have blood, so saline will do. In the event that I lose blood, the saline will help restore it pretty quickly. Almost as well. Working gloves. Nice. We needed gloves. Now that we have gloves, we have use for the duct tape because we can now repair the gloves. You've got to have gloves, right? You know this. You cannot handle raw chicken without gloves. So now we have gloves and we have chicken. We would be safe to cut the chicken and do the things that we need to do with the chicken. We'll see how we go because I'll try and work through. Chicken meat isn't the greatest. I mean, it's helpful, but it's not super. It wears out pretty fast. Ideally, the kind of thing you'd be looking for is cow, but sheep or goat or pig, just as good. Chicken, you go through chicken pretty quickly. I'm not gonna waste my time, really, going through building a fire for a couple of bits of chicken. Maybe if I had 2 chickens and I was starving, possibly. There's always the possibility that as we head up the road to Dolina, we'll pick up some rope and a stick will give us some fish, which is eminently better than chicken. Fish are fantastic. I think that guy heard me. He did. Don't really want to have to deal with them. This is Dolina. At least so I'm led to believe. So what we want to do here is make sure that we consolidate where we are, and there is a police station in Dolina. So the other thing we want to do is we want to see if we can get a good weapon, either a 9mm pistol or they may have Scorpion, submachine pistol, or they may have the pump action shotgun, which would be good as well. So, padded gloves. Now, padded gloves are supposed to be very, very good right now, if not the best in the game. I don't know if that'll change with the new patch coming through, but the padded gloves are supposed to be the bee's knees, etc., etc. So let's swap out to a set of padded gloves, and we'll get rid of the working gloves. This is also, what is this, badly damaged? No, don't know. This is barbed wire. Barbed wire. Barbed wire and a baseball bat. We'll get you a barbed baseball bat. bad boy. Even comes with blood already on it. Piggy? Right, this sometimes happens. Free pig. The infected chase pigs and sheep and goats and various other creatures around. Not chickens. I have seen them chase cows. And then they kill them. And when they kill them, you get fresh meat. Look at all that fresh meat. So what we can do is we can ditch the chicken and we'll take a bunch of this stuff. That's about as much as we can carry. I don't need the piket anymore. Probably not going to need the canned stuff anymore. I'm not going to need that anymore. So we'll see how many we can get. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got the lot, which is excellent. So we're now overloaded with pig, which is fabulous. The obvious downside is I don't have room to carry anything else unless I get a much better bag. But, you know, here we go. Let's just get indoors. Right. And see what we can find. Make sure the doors are shut. Yeah, usually find a gun in this room. It's got a shot in it. Don't think we got room for the mighty barbed baseball bat. Unless we find a better bag. Got an M-lock. No cartridge. Certainly take that off though. That's now on our IJ. Right, better jacket. That's what we need. Better jacket. And we have a BK, which has got rounds in it. No, it doesn't. That is box 9mm. Does the IJ take 9mm? 380s. Ooh. Let's just hang on to it for now. It's got something. Ah, now then. This M-lock does have, so what we can do here is we'll swap that out for this bad boy. So we'll take that off, combine it with the M-lock, and that's all good. Then we will take that out. Where's those cartridges? Right, there we go. So we've got an M-lock, got a hunted rifle, we've got this thing, and we're running out of space. Is the issue here? I'm going to ditch those. I'm going to keep that, and I don't think we can. Do we need to repair that jacket? We do need to repair that jacket. Everything else is good, and I think this. We got 5, nearly a full round. Takes 6. So there you go, looking reasonably okay-ish. Could do with a better bag. Did say. Unless you're worried about players, check on the roof. Because you do find things on the roof, like this, which has got stuff in it. It's got another one in it. Stop doing that. So there you go. So we're loaded. Loaded and ready to go. So we need to get down into the yard, which is down here. And, sorry, where is the yard? Down in here. Yeah, down in here to get the water. It's crawling with Zeds. Because I accidentally discharged the shotgun when I was unloading it. So, gonna have a bit of a drama with that lot. Because there's quite a few of them out there, as you can see. With the silencer on, should be able to take a few of them out. Sauce that one. My advice is if you're at the water and you have time, drink as much as you can. Till your stomach full comes up. Then fill up. Then get the monkeys out of there and keep it on your Hot Wheel. Now, I had potatoes for a while until I happened upon what you need to do with it. Because when you've got a potato in your hand, you can't do anything with it. That's like, what do you do with these things? And if you hold it with a knife, you can peel it. And then once you've peeled it and you pick it up, you can eat it. Or you can put it in a pot of boiling water and cook it, whatever the situation is. But it bamboozles me why you can't eat it with the skin on, but you can. So there you go. So we're heading out of Delina. Really, the main bit of Delina is behind us. So we've got a lot of pig that we picked up in Delina. I mean, we've done okay. So we've got a vest. It's not in great condition, but we need a leather kit, and we can fix that. We've got pump action shotgun and a full set of ammo and some additional. We got a coat which is halfway decent. It's not wet, so that's good. We've got our pants which are wet. You can wring those out, and that'll change the wet status, which will help dry them out and mean you won't feel the cold as much and or be slowed down as much by wearing them. It did absolutely hose it down on the way up here. Takes a lot. 2 and a bit, 2.5. When are we going to get to 3? Yeah, we're going to go all the way to 3. Wow, the last time I got to 3 it was because I was swimming. The hat, probably. No, it's good. Gloves. No, they're good. So what we need to do is we need to cook this. I find these stoves the best because they have the most amount of cooking space, which we'll see when we load it up. So we need a few things to load up, which we can get from outside, barring that infected out there. And I will get those, and then I'll bring you back, and I'll go over how to light a fire, shall I? Right, I have here some different types of wood that we're going to need for this exercise. So I have a long stick. You get long sticks from bushes, and with the long stick in your hand you'll see it says split, so we split that. Let's go through this process. I think in the new update there's going to be a noise with that. That gets you short sticks, which we'll get to. We have the firewood, which we get from larger bushes and trees and from splitting logs. You take that, when you approach a fireplace it'll say attach. When you attach it you get this handy thing which gives you all the stuff you need. We're going to need kindling. So for our kindling exercise we're going to be using dark bark. So we only need one, so we're going to split that. And we're going to drop that one, and we should have one in our inventory. That's our kindling. Easiest to come up and just have it in your hand and attach, and it automatically puts it in the right place. Down there at the bottom, right at the end. And lastly, we're going to need to light it. Now, I had these matches, and if you have a look at these matches, they are damp. So when I approach the fire, nothing happening. They may be able to dry out if you leave them on the floor next to the fire. We'll see if that happens or not. I used to. I also incidentally had to kill a Zed outside and got a dry box of matches, which is fine. But if you don't have that, here's what you need to do to make what we call a drill kit. You get some sticks in your hand and you combine them with the bark, and you get the option with the arrow up and down to craft a hand drill kit. Craft the hand drill kit. Make some noise. You pick that up in your hand. I don't need the short sticks. You approach said fire, and it says R2 for ignite, and you ignite it. And there we go. You'll get the animation start in just a second, and there you are. So I find it easiest to drop meat on the floor, and yeah, I know, and just load it in from there. So one of these stoves takes a sum total of 6, and you have to use the down arrow and the X to load it up, and it can be pretty temperamental. So do be careful. The smoking lasts longer, so food that is smoked lasts an awful lot longer. I think it's dried actually, not smoked. Although it says smoking here, it's actually listed as dried. But it takes twice as long to do. So we'll wait, and these will change color when they're ready. You don't need to stand there and have a look at it. They don't really actually start cooking until you get this animation. Same with outside. If you light a fire outside, you need to wait till the ashes come up. You get this glowing embers and ashes and things. So there will be smoke coming out the chimney. So if there's players nearby, they would see this. But luckily enough, it's a cloudy day and thunder and lightning and all the rest of it. So that's done. Take it off by approaching the cooker and loading it in. Take that one off, load another one on. You see we're still waiting on the ones that are smoking drying out. Is that dried yet? No, still damp. You can, in theory, take your clothes off and lay them on the ground and get them all to dry out and all the rest of it. They changed the drying mechanic and the drying times in the last update, and it just makes it ridiculous. You have to wait such a long time. I don't even bother. I just live with it. Eventually they'll dry out, and eventually it will be fine. The only downside to this is you don't know when the stuff that is smoking is done. You have to periodically check on it by approaching the fire and just checking on it. Do be aware, if you spend too much time close to a fire, you will start to get sick, start to overheat. So you see we've got that one done, so we should be, yeah, there you go. The stuff that is ready to go is ready to go. If you leave it on too long, it's going to ruin, it's going to spoil. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you get your meat off before it spoils. There's that one. See, I'm now really hot in the red, so I'll back away here. And what I'll do is I'll eat some of this stuff, which is also going to make me hot. So because I am so hot, my health is going down. It'll recover. It's not the end of the world. It will recover. But carrying hot food in your jacket, for example, eating immediately cooked food, that kind of thing, standing too close to the fire, etc. These things still haven't dried out. So you see my temperature's dropping, so I'll just stay back here for a little bit. There you go, it's done. Done. Right, so there we are. So that is Dolina. So we're going to move on to the next town up the road, which is Pulana. And yeah, I mean we'll just follow the road up there. No reason to go and get lost if you don't need to go and get lost. There's always the question of, players watching the road and all that kind of stuff and all the rest of it. But it's just as easy to go up the road to Pulana as anything else. Now, I will point out that there is a camp not a million miles away from here. Because this is easy, I'm not going to do the camp, and I'm not going to do that because on my server I've put some nasties around the camps because I know that people go to the camps. So I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get killed. But on official, no such nasties exist. So feel free to add in the camp. We'll head out of doors, and I'll point out where it is when we get there. I just need to get past these Zeds, of which there are a few. He spotted me. Let's make a bit of distance. Ooh, epoxy. Always swap out full. Right, and because I know the kind of premium that space is, I'm gonna just keep eating. It's not the kind of thing maybe I would advocate doing as a survival tip, but I'm definitely gonna keep eating. I don't mind if the apple goes all the way up. There is a point at which the you start to lose food faster. The we're going up the road. That is the two signs. That the first one is for Polana, and the second one is, well, it's an interesting one. That is for, where is that for? I'll let you know when I edit because I don't know exactly where that is. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep eating because it basically I'm getting benefit from the food and it's freeing up the inventory space because that's quite a lot of food. To get all that from one pig is a great haul, and it means that I probably don't need to do hunting for quite a bit because we'll run across things like cans of goods and so on, and red meat, pork meat, venison, deer, they're all really good at being sustaining foods. What's that? 354, it's 239. Now then, let's cover this. So water bottle. So I have this water bottle. In no way should I drink it. I can drink it if I sterilize it with my chlorine tablet. I only have one chlorine tablet. I'm keeping that in case of emergency. So when you find a water bottle, unless you're going to sterilize it or add water to it and sterilize it, I would empty it out. And I would empty it out so you don't confuse it with, you probably have another plastic water bottle. And you're like, oh, really? But if you have duct tape in a plastic water bottle, what you can do is you can craft a plastic bottle suppressor for your rifles. So we'll do that right now. It's only good for 1 or 2 shots, but it will work. So now on my CR527, which I have absolutely no ammo for, it's still looking out for ammo, we have a suppressor, so we can maybe get 1 clear shot reasonably well suppressed. Right, so this is the sign for Shakovka. If you want to go to Shakovka, it's down that way, and this trail will take you up the hill and also dump you at Polana. We've missed the turnoff for the camp. It's just down outside the town if you want to do it. So I think what we'll do is we will, because there's Zeds that way, we'll take the trip through the woods. Now, if you want a small stone, you'll find these small stones particularly prevalent on these little trails. Now, you might say to yourself, what do I want a small stone for? Pardon me. If you have a small stone and you can find a big rock. Right, so if you have a small stone and you find yourself a big rock, you will see it says craft stone knife. That means that you basically rub it up and down against the stone, I guess, and you craft yourself a stone knife, which you can use for cutting things, preparing food, etc., etc. You can use it for gathering sticks and everything else. It's very handy if you have no other knives anywhere. I have knives, I don't need it, but there you go, it's a tip. Now these things will help you get around if you can read them. This is saying that we're there, which is the name of this general area, I think, as opposed to a town. It's maybe the mountain. You can see here that we've got a list of towns, which are all of these things, which is interesting, which is in that direction, and all of these things, which are in that direction. And I don't know what they are, but I'll do some research, and when I edit this together, I'll put the names on it right here. And there you go. Right, so here we are, coming down the trail towards Polana. So I'm going to drop in on this side. You can already see some of the Zeds are spawning in. Got this farm building complex. Sometimes these are pretty good for particular kinds of loot. You can pick up things like crossbows in those farm sheds over there. I've never picked up a crossbow in a farm building like this. It's one of the animal pens, but it's worth a look. Aha! Now then, this will be slightly better than the army pouch that we're carrying, albeit it's a dreadful colour. Apartments and things, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I generally don't find a lot of loot in apartments, so I generally don't bother with them very much. So if you're looking for the water, it's here. Jeans, not interested in jeans. So yeah, so the water is here in the square, next to the church, which you usually can't miss. I'm going to chug some water and do what I normally do. Try and position myself so I have a good view. I want to check out this little store. Kiosk. I guess, whatever you want to call it. What have we got here? Sweater. School bag. Zed's eyesight can be pretty terrible. So if you climb on top of a car and lie down, oftentimes they can't see you. If they haven't seen you in the first place. If they'd already seen me, I would be in trouble. But because they never saw me, they don't register that I'm here. Can't quite. There you go. Right, I was gonna try and stand by the road sign so that we could we could have a look at it and could have a conversation, but we can't. So there you go. So we've come up through Polana, and yeah, we're not doing too bad now. We're not doing too bad, obviously. What did we do? We've got this thing which is pretty good through Delina. We picked up some epoxy, which hopefully will come in handy if I ever get a crossbow. We picked up this backpack that we're obviously carrying. And we picked up sharpening stones and a few bits and pieces. So probably a good time to just double check on the status of my equipment. Does anything need sharpened? No. Does anything need repaired? Always keep an eye on your gear. This bag needs repaired, so we picked up this hiking backpack. It's not quite as good as the mountain backpack. The mountain backpack is the large one. I think it has 80, which is pretty good. It still needs a repair. Look after your stuff because it's important. You need to make sure that you look after your stuff. There's no better or worse time to do it. Find a safe spot. It's getting dark, so I'm obviously going to wait till daytime to move on so that you can actually see. We've got through that duct tape, which is okay. I had lined that sign up, and now there we go. So yeah, so that's the road sign at the top. So that points down to Orlevet, pardon me, which is 2 k's away, and for some reason it doesn't point to Gorka. It points to Dubrovka, which is also in that direction, but then so is Gorka. So I don't know why it has Dubrovka and not Gorka, but in any event, we're heading that way. So when it is a little bit lighter, we will be heading that way. But that is all for now for this one, and I'll bring you in for the next one, Dizzying Installment Part 2 later on. So please do like, please subscribe, please click the bell notification so you know when Part 2 of this Loot Route Survivor's Guide is coming out, and I'll see you all then. Ta-ta for now. PlayStation